because we've got back-to-back media duels on back-to-back days. Did you see the one yesterday between Mike Francesa and Michael Kay?
What happened there?
Oh, my gosh. It goes back a while. Mike Francesa was basically saying that, to make a very long story short, the Yes Network dropped his television simulcast, or he walked away from the Yes simulcast because the Yes wanted to control the editorial content of his show, and he wouldn't do that. Well, Michael Kay took that as a personal insult, as if he was trying to say that Yes Network is controlling the content on his show. And so Kay just went nuts about calling him a liar. And it's fantastic. If you follow a Twitter account, Awful Announcing, do you follow them?
Yes, I do.
They had that up on their Twitter timeline both yesterday and today, and they have the actual audio from Michael Kay's show. It's fantastic. But the Simmons, getting back to the question you actually asked me, the Simmons Golick thing is just fantastic, because if you stop and listen and just take it, if you put the comments by each person in the appropriate timeline, Golick looks like an absolute jackass.
Yeah.
He really does, because Simmons couches his critique of the Cavaliers' early struggles with the phrase, "It's too early to say this." Mm-hmm. And then Golick decides to go on the air and just rip him as just, grabbing the headline and everything like that, when it turns out that Golick was actually trying to grab the headline, because he just didn't listen to the whole damn comment.
Do you feel like, I know everybody else is feeling this way, but it feels like ESPN's trying to force Simmons out. Not so much that Simmons wants out, more so that ESPN's trying to force him out by doing these little ploys, like only suspending him for his comments about Goodell. And, for goal, whenever anybody goes off, like Simmons goes after Skip Bayless after that Richard Sherman incident, Simmons gets suspended for 3 days. But Golick is going to have these comments, and he's not going to get suspended for it.
No,
it just feels like, I don't know why they're trying to force Simmons out, but that's what it looks like to me.
When he got suspended over his comments about Goodell, I was kind of like blown away, because number one, he was right, and secondly, that whole contrarian attitude that Bill Simmons brings to everything is exactly why he got hired by ESPN. Yeah. He started out as a blogger, one of a million bloggers, out there just writing his thoughts on sports. But he calls it like he sees it, and he does it in an entertaining way, and that's how he made his name, and that's why ESPN was attracted to him. And now he's part of their fold, and no, you can't criticize anybody we're partners with. Well, that's a load of crap. Mm-hmm. You watch First Take, and you already know ESPN's journalistic integrity is in question, okay? But then when these little incidents come up, if they are really trying to force Simmons out, God, I wish he'd just quit. I really do, because he could land anywhere and be fine, and ESPN would just have egg on their face because they pushed out somebody that actually tried to speak his opinion in an editorial capacity.
Well, and look at the things he's brought to ESPN. Granted, they could have probably done it without him, but Grantland, 30 for 30, two of the better things that have come out of ESPN in quite some time.
Oh, but don't worry. Golick said he chatted with Bill. It's all good. He's going to explain on the air tomorrow. So, in other words, make sure you listen to explain how it's all good. Why don't you just tell us, Mike? Because right now you look like an idiot.
And by the way, I'm a little, I'm not a fan of Mike and Mike. I think their act is worn thin. That happens to everything. At a certain point, things just don't work anymore. We get it. Greenberg is whiny, and Golick's some tough, athlete, and that's their shtick. It doesn't work anymore. They're not funny. They don't have anything original, because everything that they're talking about has already been talked about before they come on in the air in the morning. They're nothing special. Neither one of them are, wonderfully talented. Like Greenberg was never that great on SportsCenter. Golick was never good as a a color commentator or anything. And the show is just not that good. And I don't understand. You talk about ESPN2's lineup, Mike and Mike followed by First Take. Man, that is fantastic TV early on in the morning. I'd rather them go back to the hunting network, to be honest with you, instead of this crap programming. And I wish I could. Artie Lang, his comments about Kerry Champion way out of line.
Oh,
and
God.
I feel bad for Kerry Champion, but I am kind of pissed because now I feel like I have to give her a kind of a grieving process because I was, I've been thinking about talking about how bad she is on there. I think she's terrible at her job, but I can't really go into that right now as much as I'd like to because she's a victim right now, and I'm not going to go in on her right now because it's not good timing.
I got to tell you, there's only like really 3 shows that I watch on ESPN anymore. One, obviously, SportsCenter. But if Fox Sports 1 if I run into Fox Sports 1 first, if I run into their highlight show, that's kind of where I stay. There's nothing that makes me want to go watch SportsCenter. I watch SportsCenter. I'll watch the 30 for 30 films because I think they're really well done. And the sports reporters if I catch it on Sunday morning. Those are the only shows that I really am focused on watching. First Take does not interest me at all. Numbers Never Lie, not a big fan. What's the other one? The Sports Nation.
I can kind of dig that from time to time because I like Kellerman and I like Beadle, but I'm not a big fan of Marcellus Wiley. And the weird thing is, like I like Stephen A. Smith from time to time. I just don't like his, the way he delivers stuff bothers me. But when you break down what he said about, on the NBA and stuff, it's pretty good. Skip Bayless, I know it's not original, but I don't like him. Michael Smith, I used to like him when he was at the Boston Globe. I can't stand him now because I think him and Jamil Hill are terrible. But you look at NBA, the NBA countdown or whatever, that was my favorite lineup was when they had Beadle, Simmons, Jalen Rose, and Doug Collins. I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. Well, not great, but it was good enough for ESPN. The one thing I do need to say is they need to bring back they should have Beadle run it because she's entertaining and she's pretty hot. And bring back Legler and try to bring back Greg Anthony because those two were good.
You know what?
And then have a revolving fourth person.
You know what Beadle's major charm is the fact that she doesn't take herself too seriously.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, it's cliche to say, but she's like girl next door that, kind of actually more like the tomboy next door.
No, she's the girl that you want to bring to a sports bar to split a pitcher and watch sports with and never hit on. Not that she's not attractive, but she would just fit in with the group of guys. You know what I mean?
Right. And and the stuff she says is, she's, goofy and whatnot, but I mean, she brings entertainment value, and it's not the value of being hot and she doesn't ruin a show.
Right.
I think Sage Steele ruins a show. I think, Hannah Storm from time to time would ruin a show. Actually, I wouldn't mind her occasionally on NBA Countdown, but
the best NBA show ESPN ever had was what used to be on ESPN2, the NBA Tonight.
Yeah, with Fred Carter.
Yeah, pointing at the camera, the coach.
Yeah, Fred Carter and David Aldridge.
Yeah,
that was a great show. One last thing before we go to break. Also NBA Countdown when they had Stephen A. Smith with Bill Walton. You look up highlights of that. It was just pure comedy because those two are just two terrible personalities to put together.
It's funny that you brought up Bill Walton because I've said this for years that it doesn't matter what channel does it. Somebody needs to reunite Marv Albert, Steve Snapper Jones, and Bill Walton again to call a game.
Tom Hammond even.
Yeah, but the three of them, the way that Snapper Jones and Walton used to snipe at each other from either side of Albert Oh my God! It was the best basketball commentary ever.
Well, my favorite is when Walton would say somebody was the greatest player in Western civilization or something like that, and Stafford Jones would just be like, "Oh God, come on, Bill." Well, we were going to go ahead and take our first break here on the Bob Sullivan Show. We will be right back. If you want to call in after the break, the number is 585-633-7487. You're listening to the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Lost or found love, lying by your side. Take another second to keep breathing in the moment before it's gone. You never know when love is lost until you find just what it costs to be wrong. Think of me passing by, you think you see me coming. I wonder if you pull me in, kiss me just one time again. Cause in the final hours of night, do you remember? Lost or found, love lying by your side. Coming and the nights will keep on going till they're tired, falling fast asleep and as they dream of ghosts of beats filled with desire. The chance of life is all around, a chance to take is always found. Oh, writing on the lullabies on the lonely living life. Oh, do you remember? Lost or found, love lying by your side. In the final hours of night, do you remember? Lost or found, love lying by your side. Take another second. Until you find just what it costs to be wrong. I wonder if you think of me passing by, you think you see me coming. I wonder if you pull me in, kiss me just one time again. The final hours of night, do you remember? Looking at the history doesn't seem to